Yeah, hello all,
Mm, yeah.
welcome back.
Mm,
So today in today's session we will cover the remaining controls in automatic credit check. Okay,
okay.
so I think we have taken many classes for this. So this is the
Mm,
last class for automatic credit check.
mm,
So now let me go through PRO and here sales and distribution, in
yeah.
which we have to go through basic functions,
Mm,
then
Weight management and risk management.
yes, credit management and risk management, and here
Mm,
credit management
mm,
and define
mm,
automatic credit control.
mm,
And here our credit control area is M100, right?
mm,
This is what we have created for high risk customers.
mm,
Okay, so now
okay.
let me go through this. And here, what is the next option? Oldest open item.
After open item.
So here the previous one is open items. So which we have covered in the previous session, right?
Mm,
So I think you are clear with them.
Rightly.
Do you have any queries in that?
No.
No?
No things.
Sure?
No.
Okay, you are not having any queries in that, right? Okay, so now let us move to the next one here. It is nothing but, what is that? Oldest?
Only open item.
Yes. Oldest open items. Okay.
Mm,
See,
mm,
oldest open items is the overdue item. What is this? It is nothing but the overdue item. And if you check oldest open items,
mm,
let me move it here.
okay.
Yeah. If
Mm,
you check oldest open items, this one,
mm,
okay,
okay.
and then while you are creating the sales adder,
Mm,
even if one invoice is overdue for that customer, at
mm,
least one invoice is overdue,
mm,
then the system will block the next two transaction.
mm,
Okay, so if a
okay.
customer is having two invoices,
Mm,
okay, and even if one invoice got overdue, then what will happen? The system will block the next two transaction.
mm,
Okay, so now let me
okay.
create that in SAP. Means let me create a test case for that.
Mm,
So now I am checking it. So now let me see. I will remove this one. Here this one, and here this one.
mm,
So now I have checked only oldest open items. Okay. So
mm,
now let me save it. So now in order to explain you this scenario, I will create one new customer.
mm,
Now let me name it as Start Credit Check 6. Okay.
mm,
So okay. So here let me give some region, some transportation zone. So we can make the changes in the transportation zone, sorry, in the time
mm,
zone. So here let me go through all these steps.
mm,
Then in the company code data, I will give the reconciliation account,
mm,
and here in the sales area data, let me give the mandatory details of delivery priority, shipping condition, and plan. Okay.
mm, okay.
So now let me go through the billing document tab here. So here, let me give some Inco terms, free on board. So here the credit control area is M100. I think the terms of payment is M001. This is what we have created. So now let me give some tax classification. Okay. So now I am saving this customer. Okay. See here the customer 6686 got saved. And if we check the customer credit limit here in FD 32, here you can able to see 20,000 is the credit limit of the customer. Okay. May I ask you a question? From where the customer is getting this credit limit? As this is the new customer, for the new customer, so we have maintained the credit limit in credit control area itself only, right? Do you remember that?
Yes, credit control.
Yes. Okay. So
Credit
now,
control area.
yeah. So now let me go back from here and see. What I will do is I will create the sales orders for customer. So here the customer is 6686, right? So now let me take one material. Okay. So here let me give some quantity. So I will make the delivery. So here let me give the picked quantity as 2 and let me do the post goods issue. So now we have to create the invoice for this customer. And while you are creating the invoice, what you have to see, you have to go through the header and here you have to see account assignment category of the customers. So which was not assigned. So now I am giving here. This is the one. Okay. So may I ask you a question here? How the revenue account will get determined here? Based on?
Revenue account determination. GL account.
Yes. Can you please mention the criteria?
Criteria to determine GL account, right?
Criteria to determine revenue GL accounts.
Account, sales organization.
Okay.
Accountation group of customer. Accountation group of material. Account key. Account key.
Account key, right? So now here the account assignment category of the customer is domestic customer M1, and here if we go through the material, here you can able to see manufacturing, nothing but here it's also M1, for which already we have the entries. So now while I save the invoice, what will happen? Accounting document will get generated because here the document got saved and the accounting document also is getting generated. So if you like to see, you have to go through the transaction VF02 and here you can able to find the accounting document. Okay. So now let me go through the transaction FBL5N. Okay. Here you can able to see this is the invoice, right? This is the invoice which we have created now. So what I will do here, I will make the invoice as overdue. So in the previous session, I told you, right, how to make the invoices as overdue. We have to use the transaction. What is that? F B L 5N. So this is the transaction we are using to make the invoices as overdue. Okay. So here I have used this transaction, and now let me go through the invoice which I would like to make it as overdue. So now let me double click on it, and here if you see, we can able to see the payment terms and the, what is this, baseline date. So this is what is the condition which we have given already in the terms of payment. It's nothing but if the customer pays till, means within 5 days, 10% is the discount which is going to be applicable to the customer. And if he pays within 30 days, 5% is the discount, right? And the baseline date is 13/5/2022. So here what I am doing is I would like to change the date to the previous date. So what will happen to make this invoice as the overdue? I will do this. Okay. So here let me change the date here, and now let me save it. Okay. And if you would like to check it, you have to go back through that. Then here you can able to see the baseline date is which falls in 2021. So which means the invoice got, means invoice became overdue, right? So now let me go through the transaction VA01. But before creation of the sales adder, I just would like to tell you one thing. Why exactly we are making the invoices as overdue here, and why we are going through the transaction FBL5N to make the invoice as overdue? Because here we have to check the further scenarios. Okay, that's the reason we are making them, but it's not the task of the S3 consultants.
Okay.
So hope you are clear with it.
Mhm.
Okay, so now let me create one invoice for that customer. See, if you are creating the sales adder for that customer, then what is the system displaying? Credit check error message, right? It's related to the oldest open items overdue. Okay, so
Okay.
if you check the configuration here, see here, oldest open items. So what will happen if you check the oldest open items? Even if at least one invoice of the customer is overdue, means the customer was not paid within the stipulated time period which was means which has been given to the customer. So which will become the overdue one. So if at least one overdue invoice is laid against the customer, then the system will not allow the customer to create one more sales order. So if the customer would like to create the sales order, then what is the possible scenario here? The customer has to pay the amount for the previous invoice. Okay. So are you clear with it?
Okay.
Yeah, okay then. Thank you. So now let me go through the remaining controls. So what is the next to control here? Highest dunning level, right? So here, if you check highest dunning level, this one,
Okay.
highest,
Running level.
yes, yeah. So if you check highest dunning level, then what will happen? If you check this, what is this field highest dunning level here, and if you maintain dunning levels of the customer, dunning levels to the customer, like the level is 2 or 3, whatever it may be, you can maintain the dunning levels here. Dunning is nothing but the reminders.
Okay.
Okay. So if customer fail to pay within the dunning levels, then system will block the customer for the next order. Okay.
Okay.
So if you maintain the highest or this dunning levels here, and if the dunning level reaches, then the system will block the next two transaction of that customers. Okay, so dunning means, what is that I have told you about the dunning? It's nothing but sending the reminders to the customers for making the payment. Dunning means reminders. Okay, so if customer is having some invoices, for example, the customer is having two invoices. Okay, so now let me give the number as, yeah, so the customer is having these two invoices. Okay, and for this customer, the customer was not yet paid, and for this one also. So if we have sent one reminder, the customer not yet paid, and the second reminder also was sent to the customer, and if we have maintained here dunning level as 3, and if we send the third reminder, and for the third means after the third reminder, the system will not allow to create the sales order for the same customer. Okay, so I think you are clear with it.
Okay.
Okay, so here what is the next field?
User 1.
Yes, user 1 and user 2 and user 3, right? See,
Okay.
I will tell you something about this one. User 1 and user 2, user 3. So these three, right? Okay.
Okay.
See, we use these user exist, means we use this user 1, user 2 and user 3. These for user exist. What is that? I will let you know this. I will let you know what exactly the user exist is. Oh, I lost the screen, sorry. User exist. Okay, so we use these user 1, user 2 and user 3 for user exist. Okay, so when we use the user exist, so if client's requirement is related to the credit management which is not fulfilled with the standard configuration, okay, if client requirement not fulfills with the standard configuration, then we will go for the user exist. Okay,
Okay.
and SAP has provided us 3 user exist for the credit management. Okay,
Okay.
and if you are using the first user, then you have to check user 1, and if you are using the second one, you have to check user exist 2, and if you are using the user exist 3, then you have to check the user 3. Okay, while you are configuring. So here, while you are using the user exist, what you have to do, you have to, means the ABAPers will work on it. They will make some changes, means required changes in that user exist. So whatever the user exists in which they have made the changes, you have to check that one here. Okay, in order to determine that into our sales document. So now I will show you the path where you can able to find the user exist. Okay, so now let me go through the path to define the user exist. Okay, here let me go through SPRO, then sales and distribution, then here see, you can see system modifications, right? So if you like to check, means if you like to make any changes in the existing logic, or if you like to create a new one, then you have to go through system modifications here. Okay, see here you can able to see user exist, right? In which you can see user exist for credit management. Where you can see, where you can able to see that user exist for credit checks and risk management, right? This one. Okay, so here you can able to give user underscore credit underscore check 1. Okay, and check 2 is there, check 3 is also there. Okay, so if you, what is this is the program actually. See here you can able to create the new ones by giving the access key, means you can able to make the changes. So if you don't have the access key, then you cannot able to make the changes to the existing logic. Okay, but however this is the path where you can able to find the user exist. Okay, so I think you are clear with it. Yeah, and if you have any queries in this regard, you can ask me now. But the ABAPers will work on the user exist. Don't forget this. You will not, you being as the consultants, you will not work on it because you are the functional consultants. But what you will do is, but what you will do is the changes which were made by the technical consultants, nothing but the ABAPers on the user exist. That's what you will use in the functional. What is this? From the functional side, you will use them wherever it is required. For example, see in the credit management, we can see 3 user exists, right? So you can use the user exist for the credit management. So like that, there are many user exists, many BAPIs, which you can use for the, means which you can use for the functional configurations, means if it is not available in the standard SAP. Okay, it will not be called as configuration, it will be called as customization. Okay, so the thing which is available in the standard SAP, which you can configure, and which is not available in SAP and which you are doing newly, which is nothing but the customization. Okay, not an issue. I will take a separate session for that. So I think you are clear with the session. Yeah, and as you are not having any queries now, so I'm concluding the session for now. Okay then, thank you, bye.